Japan is bracing for its next mega-quake. A government panel says nearly 300,000 people could die when one occurs in the Nankai Trough. The panel submitted its report to the government Monday. The Nankai Trough runs along Japan's Pacific coast from Kyushu to Shizuoka Prefecture. The area is overdue for a major seismic event. It would rock big cities, including Osaka. Experts believe there is an 80% chance it will happen in the next 30 years. The report says the shaking will top Japan's seismic scale in 10 prefectures. It would also trigger widespread tsunami, with some places seeing waves over 30 meters high. Some may even be observed in Tokyo. The panel says those tsunami would cause the vast majority of deaths, but up to 52,000 people could also die from disaster-related causes, such as untreated medical issues or stress. Now, for more on this, I'm joined by NHK World's Shimakawa Eisuke. He covers issues surrounding natural disasters for us. Eisuke, why is the government focused on the Nankai Trough now?
Obviously, it is a huge risk for the whole country. Records show a mega-quake hits the region about once every 150 years or so. We are now overdue for another. But the other reason it's an issue now has to do with the Great East Japan earthquake. When it struck in 2011, the scale was far beyond what anyone expected. It raised concerns we were underestimating the Nankai Trough. So the government is now looking at what needs to be done based on the worst-case scenario. That would be a magnitude 9 earthquake, the largest scientifically possible.
So can we say that Japan is prepared for this mega-quake?
Yes and no. Over 10 years ago, the government decided to take measures to reduce that death toll. The goal was an 80% reduction over 10 years. For example, they have started building evacuation towers. The goal is to give people a place to evacuation to when there isn't higher ground nearby. Local governments are also holding more drills. But the national government has not hit its target. There are multiple reasons why. For one, the report does not take into account how people think about tsunami. It assumes most people near the coast wouldn't evacuate immediately after an earthquake. But coastal residents today seem more prepared for tsunami than they were 10 years ago. Experts also expanded what they consider the tsunami-affected area by about 30%. That is another reason why it looks like progress isn't being made.
Well, you just mentioned being prepared for these disasters.
Right.
And that, of course, is true for Japanese people who have experienced these things and live near the coast, for example. But what about foreigners and visitors here who might not have that sort of experience?
Right. The panel did look into the impact a mega-quake would have on foreigners here. It found they have less access to information and humanitarian supplies. They are also more likely to be stuck in the affected area without transportation. Again, the biggest causes of death will probably be tsunami. It is critical the government makes sure everyone near the coast knows to run to higher ground. That includes those who may not speak Japanese. If everyone evacuates immediately after the quake, the data shows we can reduce tsunami deaths by 70%. But that is not the only things we can do. By making our homes quake-resistant and securing heavy furniture, we can reduce the number of deaths. We assume major actions are the only way to address a major quake, but that's just not true. Both the government and the people need to make the effort. That is the only way to be truly resilient against a mega-quake.
Thank you, Eisuke.